Roy Jones being able to beat one of the best defensive fighters in boxing history, James Toney. So what everyone loves to talk about is how fast Roy Jones is, how he was just genetically gifted and how amazingly fast he was, taking nothing away from that. But what we're going to watch is that beyond the genetics and the super speed was the finesse, the smarts, the mentality, the traps that Roy Jones set for one of the greatest defensive fighters in the world, to whereas he can go all the way to 12 rounds and look like he has no marks on him whatsoever. All right. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay. So I want to bring our attention to a couple key points: spacing, pivoting, framing after punches, and feinting. Okay. This is round one that you're watching right now. Let's watch it. Okay. So now in this first round, first couple seconds, we are going to see what happens throughout the entire fight, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we're going to see feints. Okay, we're going to see keeping of the spacing, and we're going to see how he throws a punch, frames after the punch, and then gains his spacing again. We're going to see this happen throughout the entire fight. Let's go ahead and go through the next part. This is just a couple seconds later. Okay, let's break this down. Okay, we're seeing the jabs. All right, we saw the jabs take place here. Okay, and then notice how the jab, we're stepping back as we jab. Let me get a better color. We're stepping back as we jab here. Okay, now what does this do? It creates space between me and my opponent. So now that he has space, I want you to watch what he does here. Okay, watch what he does here. Watch the step over to the right here, boom. All right, people call it the L step, stepping over, whatever you want to call it. We just know that Roy Jones stepped off to his right. Now, why is this important? Because now we want to cut off the angle that James Toney has. He's not throwing this right hand because that is too far a space. And if when people are in the shoulder roll defense, Philly shell, whatever you want to call it, normally when a person throws a punch, that counter right hand is always there. So what do? We take away that counter right hand. So now all we have to deal with is that lead hand. So notice when Roy Jones brings him in, he limits that lead hand from working. Okay. Now more so than this, y'all. This is big. Okay. This is big. Beyond just throwing the punches and framing, we're gonna talk about how timing is super crucial here. So notice when Roy Jones steps off to the right, what is James Toney's feet doing here? That's right, they're in the air. If they are in the air, that means they're not set. And if you're not set, you do not have a punch option. Now, as James Toney just sets his feet, guess who's on go? That's right. Roy Jones is already on go. The moment this foot touches, he's on go. Now, even though he misses this punch, the timing is what throws James Toney off the entire fight. And that's all that happens. Okay. Now let's go on to the next part. I want to go to, let's go 617. Let's go right around here. Okay. So I want us to pay attention here. Pay very, very close attention to what is set up here. Okay. Mm-hmm. Notice it in the spacing. All right. Roy gets hit with the jab there. Keeps the spacing. Steps back. Okay. So we're watching this. He goes over to his left. Gains his spacing. Okay. Feints, steps off to the right, boom, lets off a couple counters, or not counters, just a couple of combinations. Okay, now let's back this up. This is crucial. Okay, pay very close attention to this. Okay, here we go. So James Toney on approach. All right, notice where Roy's hand goes back to, right here. Now, why is this important? Because now this shortens the distance and how comfortable James Toney is to be able to close that gap. And this is why that jab gets in. Because when that hand dropped, James Toney was a lot closer than Roy actually imagined. So, being that James Toney was able to land this jab, what do you think happens in Roy's mind? Oh, he's too close. So, what do we need to do? We need to keep this hand out here and reestablish our spacing. We cannot allow James Toney to close the distance. And James Toney is notorious for this, ladies and gentlemen, where he closes that distance so effectively and efficiently that he starts beating on people when that distance is closed. So notice here, Roy got his distance. Now look who's out of range. That's right. James Toney is now out of range. Circle over to the left. What does that do? Once again, establishes space. Now look how much space we got. All right, because if we have space, we have time. And if we have time, we can be able to see. And if we can be able to see, we can be able to counter more effectively. It's all simple math. Another feint that we just saw right here is Toney steps over. Watch the feint here. Boom. James Toney responds. This buys Roy extra time to step off to the right. Touch. Throw the right hand. Couple counters. Easy work. So we're seeing spacing, we're seeing pivoting, we're seeing framings with the punches, and we're seeing a whole lot of feinting to set up all of these shots, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue. Let's go to the knockdown. Everyone likes to talk about the knockdown. Okay. We're going to see how this all is a sequence of everything that we just talked about thus far. Okay. Let's play it live time. Boom. Okay. We Everyone has seen this knockdown as one of the most notorious knockdowns in all of boxing history. But let's see how this gets set up, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Context is always key. Roy on approach. James Toney and Roy are set right here. We're set. Okay. Now we see a feint. People consider this showboating. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a feint. Because what does a feint do? It gets our opponent to respond. We are trying to elicit a reaction from our opponent. Excuse me. Okay. After we got the reaction, Roy comes up. Now look who does the same thing. Difference is, what was the intention? The intention wasn't to strike. The intention was, I can do that too. So James Toney isn't thinking of, I can hit Roy from that position. He's thinking, I can do the same thing you just did. Now, what is this? It's a slight mental lapse by James Toney, because now it gets him to open up. But watch this here. Watch this here. Roy does the same exact thing again, but notice the difference. Did you see it? He steps forward while showing the same thing. And guess whose feet are planted and can't go anywhere? That's right. And if the feet can't go anywhere, all you can use is your upper body. And that's what James Toney does here. Uses the upper body and gets caught, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, we are seeing the feints, we're seeing the spacing control, and we're seeing the combinations thrown by Roy Jones Jr. Again, we are not taking a credit away from his speed. We are just honoring what this man is able to do in that ring. Let's continue. We honor this man by giving attention to the mentalities, the psychology, how he was able to get away with all of these punches practically unscathed. Practically unscathed. Okay. So we see it here. We see the feints, right? Feint to get a reaction. We like that. All right. We feint to get a reaction. All right. We feint to get a reaction. Okay. Throw the right hand. All right. What did we get right there? What did we get, ladies and gentlemen? Come on, it's in the notes. It's in the notes right there. That's right, spacing, because James Toney's not allowed to get close to me. Once he throws, boom, we throw the left, and then notice what Roy Jones does there. After he throws the left, after he throws the left hook here, watch, 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 boom, does it hits the shoulder. We clinch and smother, and guess now who can't punch? That's right, our opponent isn't allowed to strike. So I am punching him, whether I land or not. I am limiting his offense while executing mine. These are all simple tactics that Roy Jones Jr. used against the best defensive boxer, one of the best defensive boxers in the world. Now, if you're liking what you see here, I have other videos. I actually have a whole playlist of what Roy Jones does to all of his opponents. Be sure to watch it. It's got all the shorts and all the videos on Roy Jones Jr. Go ahead and check them out. More to come.